Welcome to the Takeover. This is Bonafide Takeover Sports. You're here with your host, T-Wil, the People's Coach, and Bold Barry.
I'm mad as hell.
We're going to help you get through that. I hope we can help you get through that. Here in Studio B, we had to relocate for today, you know, because of the scene and their whole environment. We got to make my guy feel like he can get
feel
it
at home. I gotta have the home court advantage in the dark. I gotta be in the cave. Yeah.
So we're gonna go over these recent transactions and these street deals. That's what I'm gonna call them. These around the corner street deals that are going on for some lint and
super fleece deals
and pennies. So we're gonna talk about the Paul George trade and just the reactions on the teams, and y'all know who I'm hitting at. The teams who are in conversations with the Pacers that are looking at this, and their fans and followers are looking at this like, what's going on? So
look at everybody.
So for the backstory, Paul George was traded for what did I say? A bus ticket and a snack.
Yeah, or a glass of milk and some cookies and
okay, and
whatever.
Or a plane ticket.
Right.
So basically, Oladipo and some guy named Sabonis.
Free flight.
And so I remember you talking to me about how Victor Oladipo's contract isn't even friendly.
Right. Not even a friendly deal. It goes into 2021, and it's a $20 million a year deal because he got the super max from OKC and Sam Presti, which is a genius by getting Paul George anyway, because the Pacers are the real losers. And they take it on this Oladipo deal, which is sick.
And then Sabonis, who's just a guy.
Who is he?
Besides
Arvydas Sabonis is son, who's a Hall of Famer.
And so I didn't even know that, but that's just okay. And so looking at it from Boston's standpoint, and who was one of the lead runners for Paul George in this whole conversation
for the past year and a half, 2 years,
Danny Ainge on draft night offered them Jay Crowder, Marcus Smart, and 3 first-round draft picks. What those first-round draft picks were, late or early, we don't know.
Wait. You should get back a little bit to the deadline real quick too about the deal that was in the works before that too. But that was the asking price was too much, and also you got to remember George Bird, Larry Bird wasn't running the front office either. There was a change of power there too. Mm-hmm. So that deal was Jay Crowder, like 7 first-round picks, like Marcus Smart, Avery Bradley. Like they was asking for the farm back then, especially going into the situation here. So we see that they've been talking for quite some time now. Man. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're gonna need that. so we see that this whole discussion has been going on for a while. Nothing's been happening. Danny Ainge been just grinding per se. So I'm gonna just throw this out there.
Dirty. That's what he's been trying to do.
So I'm gonna throw this out there because you just keep trying to jump in there like this is double time. So I'm gonna start off by saying my standpoint. I know that Danny Ainge, he's not Phil Jackson. He's just not in that mode. He just doesn't care about his job. He's just not doing things to do things. But at the same time, and he's trying to make a move because, as you've seen, he threw that trade at draft night and the trade deadline talks about whatever. He threw that trade at draft night, and they just said no.
But he also said that he also said after that he never even had a deal with them too. He's also said he never did that as well.
So there's a lot of Trump talk.
Exactly. There's a lot of alternative facts and fake news going on with Danny Ainge. I'm not liking this. Not liking it.
And so I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna say that I know that he's trying, but at the same time, it just looks like his trying isn't enough because I seen a topic talking about the Celtics almost got this going on. The Celtics almost traded Amir Johnson for Jahlil Okafor. And someone responded by saying someone else responded by the Celtics are almost getting everybody.
Almost they're never getting nothing.
So with that said,
clearly it's something Danny's not doing. So first of all, I'd like to start off by saying the Pacers are the absolute losers in this situation. They got robbed. They got gypped. They got fleeced. However you want to put it. They got jacked. They got ganked. We'll put it like that. Trader Danny, this dude is the real loser as far as with all these assets he's been hoarding and all these fireworks that he's been claiming since I believe the summer of 2014. He's the ultimate loser in my book as far as being a fan and just watching what this man's been doing since he came on the scene when he traded Antoine Walker back in the day for Rayford Flint's. But that's besides the point. This man has miscalculated this move of, his master plan of signing Hayward and then lowering George over because, you can't have, teams, you can't expect teams to wait for you, especially in a free agency that is very quick and painless. Like it comes and goes. Like you can't wait for certain moves, especially when you have a stud on the line. You've already been on the record for missing out on Jimmy Butler, Boogie Cousins, possibly Blake Griffin or whoever else. It seems like we're always in the mix with somebody who's on the verge of walking out their team, but we never get them, so it is what it is. We're never really good at recruiting free agents anyway, so I don't know why the Celtics or Celtic fans are really so hell-bent and strung on believing that we're going to get Hayward. I mean, I believe we have, what's his name, Brad Stevens as his life coach and his former head coach back in college. So
apparently he was on the plane.
I saw that picture and stuff, whatever, however that goes. But that's the only thing that we're holding for that. And we did that with KD last year when we signed Horford. We were like, we signed Horford, so we're definitely getting KD. And KD won a chip in Golden State. So Danny Ainge passing up on these franchise guys is really bothersome because it's just like you're really stuck on these blue-collar chip guys who won't really bring you to the finals or anything like that, and you should have just took a risk. And Danny is not really a big risk taker. Let's break down this deal real quick. So Indiana traded Paul George, who has a $20 million contract right now, for a Victor Oladipo who doesn't have a friendly contract, which is over. It's going through 2021, and Sabonis. Now Danny Ainge is sitting back being cocky and not making moves where you could have potentially traded Avery Bradley, possibly Marcus Smart, who's Jay, a.k.a. Jay Crowder, in Zeller's contract, and like 2 out of the 7 first-round picks that you own. But you're hoarding them and you're sitting on your hands. Now, the Celtics, we've been set up for this position to do these type of moves for years.
Definitely.
But
8 first-round draft picks.
Right, 8 first-round draft picks. You have guys with friendly contracts and expiring contracts and low-budget contracts. You've been in this position for years. I mean, I saw articles months ago and going into this year how the Celtics are the biggest threat in where we're at right now, which is free agency, because we had the ability to trade for somebody, sign 2 max guys, and etc. But Danny is sitting here having this master plan that has all just crumbled and backfired on him at the end of the day, based off throwing in all the chips for Gordon Hayward. Now, if you would have traded for Paul George, we understand that the money wouldn't have worked as far as giving Paul George an extension, but people also forgetting to realize that Paul George comes over with these bird years because he's been with Indiana for, 7 seasons now or something like that. So he has over 3+ years worth of bird rights, allowing him to sign a pretty hefty salary contract within the first year of an extension. But I'm not in the front office. I don't run it. But that's just off, that's off of what I'm seeing with the numbers and everything like that, and how the bird rights work. So, what is Danny really doing here?
I don't know. I'm like, everyone's kind of looking at this, but from my standpoint, you look at it like, okay, I think he may need to go because it just looks like none of the GMs rock with him. Like, and you have to look at it when you're willing to get, like you said, fleeced or just scammed by teams, and then just pass up on Danny Ainge's offers, they're good offers, or they would be better offers than some offers that some of these teams are taking. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at that, like, teams rather get swagged by other teams than make offer with you. Something isn't right. They're not. That means they're not rocking with you. So when your value like that expires in this league, it's time to go. Just like when a coach can't reach out to his players no more, it's time to go.
Exactly.
So that's what it's looking like. And then it's like while you were talking, I was just kind of thinking. You look at all these other teams. But granted, we're ahead of our rebuilding process.
They've gotten way better.
But you look at how the Timberwolves, they're making these type of moves,
super moves.
You know what I'm saying? The Sixers, even though their issues, they have to stay healthy, but they're looking like I'm saying, they could be a promising team once the LeBron's era is over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at all these teams, and we've had more draft picks than all these dudes. We've had more trial and error than all these dudes. Yeah,
makes no sense.
And it doesn't make sense. Like, you just look at all that. Granted, we're ahead of if you look at some of the teams that when we go through our period when we were good, fell off and came back, we're ahead of that process in terms of dudes like the Lakers and the Heat. We're good in that standpoint.
We're contenders now.
Yeah.
That's the part of the process that we're at now. We're contending, so we need to make those moves or take those calculated risks to put us in contending position and get us in the finals.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna say people who look at it from the other side like, oh, we're being spoiled fans. It's like, oh, because we're ahead of where we need to be. Like, he guided this. First off, I'm taking a break from my. I'm taking my break from my little point. those who keep saying that Danny Ainge created this and he brought them where they need to be, he did the Isaiah trade and he did the Jay Crowder trade. That Jay Crowder trade, I don't even know if you can feel happy about that 7 days out the week. So, so let's say it. And he did not do this. Brad Stevens took these players, put them in a strategy, and made them better than what they are. Stop saying Danny Ainge created what he brought 2 pieces in, and Brad Stevens did the rest. So let's stop giving him all this credit. That's just all right.
And hold him accountable for making moves and taking risks. Let's do that.
That's because I keep hearing that, and it's just like you're giving him too much credit.
We're gonna mess around and end up like the Bulls, Keep
mess around. Go ahead, like I said, Gordon Hayward don't come here. We got Isaiah's contract's up next year.
Yep. We can. This could blow out of proportion.
Is up next year. Smart's so imagine if dudes, you know what I'm saying? All right, they get that big contract from whoever because everyone's getting big contracts now.
Don't be surprised if the Celtics are sitting back like this, like, damn, what do we do now?
Go draft.
You got to use all those 8 picks that you done saved.
Go
because those are more important. Kids. Those are more important than players, than studs, established all-stars, vets. Franchise-changing guys.
So now we're gonna segue into free agency and talk about some of these free agent contracts. Everyone's just getting superstar money.
Buku
Back
money
a couple years, this would be superstar money.
I call it the Chandler Parson money.
Yeah,
dudes that get money and don't play.
But I'll let y'all transition to that so we can get over some of those thoughts on what we feel is going on with these contracts.